back. Scientists are breathing a collective sigh of relief this morning after it was announced the UK is rejoining the EU's Horizon Science Research Programme after Rishi Sunak agreed to a deal with Brussels. Britain has been excluded from the programme, which has a £95.5 billion budget between 2021 and 2027 since Brexit. Horizon's a collaboration involving Europe's leading research institutes and technology companies. EU member states contribute funds that are allocated to individuals or organisations on merit. And Britain benefited more than any other EU country from grants handed out under the Horizon programme. Well, we're joined now by Dr. Mike Galsworthy. He's the chair of European Movement. It's an organisation that says it wants to undo the damage of Brexit. He's also director of Scientists for EU, which has been campaigning for today's development for some time. So, Dr. Galsworthy, I guess you're celebrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Massively relieved that this has been a long time coming and there have been lots of scares on the way. But this is really, really good news for British science. I mean, it puts us back in the multinational playing field again. And so, yeah, mightily relieved, as is pretty much everyone in the UK science community.
I mean, obviously the UK is going to contribute to the fund, and then, as we were just explaining, on a merit-based approach, might get grants back. Why, in the meantime, could we have not just contributed roughly the same amount from the UK government to UK scientists?
Well, you could do, but then you miss out the whole multinational dimension. What you've got with Horizon Europe, which is unique in the world, is you've got over 24 different countries chipping money into the same pot and saying, if you guys want to do any science research, then you just put in one grant for whatever constellation of different institutions from different countries all over Europe that you want. And, you know, the beauty of that is fantastic, because it means you can say, well, the machinery that they've got in this lab in Sweden, plus the AI tech that they've been developing on this in Germany, plus what we want to do, plus the sample size in France, let's put those together and develop a world-beating research program, and we can go and do that. And furthermore, once you've got the hub of your European program sorted, oftentimes we then get bolt-ons from pretty much every other country around the world. So unique in the world, you can do that big scale science of putting together whatever jigsaw is the perfect constellation to actually do it. And on top of that, we also know that science that's done multinationally has a lot more impact than science is done at a national level. So on many levels, it is the future of the science. It's a big win. It's where Europe leads, and it's where we used to lead on the platform of Europe.
It's really interesting context, that. And I want to pick up on where you just finished by saying that where Europe leads, where we used to lead. So where does the UK rank in terms of science calibre globally, and where does it rank as a part of Horizon across Europe?
Oh, globally, traditionally, we are at the very top by nature of some of the universities and research institutes that we have. And historically, we have always been very good at science, very creative right across the British Isles. And furthermore, the fact that the English language is something that we have natively has also, and that is the language of science these days, also has helped us be a magnet for lots of talent to come to the UK and work here and make our institutions stronger. So when it comes to the European Science Programme, we did well from that. Because we're a leading science nation in Europe, it was us and Germany all the way through until 2016 were vying for pole position in terms of funds, in terms of collaborative links. It was between both of us, and actually out of the two, the UK would coordinate more projects than Germany. So we did actually have quite a leadership role there. Then the Brexit vote came along, and even though we were on the programme, by 2020, we had fallen behind Germany, then France, then Spain, then Italy, and we were in 5th place, just above the Netherlands, having lost over that time period about 1.5 billion in funding, which otherwise we would have got. So before you got into the problems with signing up to Horizon Europe, just the Brexit vote itself and the uncertainty it created with we may leave with no deal and all that kind of stuff, that really, really hurt UK science and our future prospects. So to get back into the programme now means that we're not starting at pole position. You know, we are down the rankings now, but now UK scientists can start to fix the problems that our Brexiteer politicians caused. And it can be up to us to help rebuild that really important part of our higher education, our innovation, and the cutting edge of our future economy.
So if it is true that Brexit hurt the interests of science in the UK, does this deal solve for 75% of that problem, 100%, less than 50%?
It's hard to quantify, but I think your 75% thing is good in that it really, really changes the flavour of UK science in this country. So even in terms of total funding, it's a small amount compared to everything that gets put in. Nevertheless, when global talent around the world thinks, what country do I want to go to where I can actually lead a big multinational project, it means that the UK is now back as an option there. And so that attractiveness for talent, that from here, from the UK base, you really can on the Horizon platform, which then sits on a global platform, that's very, very significant in terms of our attractiveness. So there are other things that we didn't get Euratom. We've still got problems with Galileo. There's mutual job recognition of qualifications that we don't have in place. There's the free movement issue. There are tons of other things that hurt UK science thanks to Brexit. But this is the big symbolic one about the flavour of science in our country. Are we team players again, or are we going to sit out on the fringe and say we don't want to work with them? And fortunately, we've got ourselves into a place where we're saying we're back and let's have more of this, because this feels good. This feels like the UK science team is really coming back to play now.
Dr. Galsworthy, thanks so much for joining us. Very much appreciated.
Thanks very much.